Hello, this is Professor Lachelle Moersch, and I am working as an adjunct for Johns Hopkins University this semester, and I'm using these videos to support my literacy in the content area course. The first part of this video is about what word clouds are, how you create them, why you would use them. In this particular version of it, I'm going to actually model creating one. And I'm going to use the word cloud to summarize the data that I collected from my students using a Google form. So I created the Google form. Actually, I'm going to share my screen. So I created the Google form, which ends up giving you a spreadsheet that looks like this, that has all of the data in one place. So the first thing I'm going to do is grab this first question. The first question was, explain the following quote from the podcast of Zaretta Hammond in your own words. Also explain if you agree or disagree or both. So I'm going to copy and paste that question into this slideshow that I'm going to use for my class. Then I'm going to go back to my spreadsheet and I'm going to grab all of the data, all the responses that everyone posted in that forum discussion. Then I'm going to paste all of those answers here in my worded out website. And I'm going to hit generate. Now, this is way too many words. This doesn't give me anything that is actually helpful or responsive. So I'm going to choose to go to the word list, and I'm going to decrease this to the 50 total words. And I'm going to say that a word had to be repeated at least 3 times before it makes my word cloud. Then I'm going to hit regenerate. Now I have something that is a lot more cohesive, and it brings things back together in a different way. The other thing you can do is go to the actual word list and look through things and see if there are things that you would like to combine or add in a different way. So for example, right now I have learning and learn. I have agree, I have about. Well, I don't really want the word about, so I'm going to take that one out. I'm going to remove it. Then I have saying, need. Saying doesn't really tell me anything, so I'm going to remove that one. I like need. I'm going to leave because I'm going to leave because I feel like it is helpful to us to sort of see that most of the responses talked about causality. And then I'm going to hit regenerate. That is a very similar set of words. Now I'm going to go back to the word list, and if you notice at the bottom, there are words that are in red that I might choose to go ahead and put into this response that I might want. So for example, I'm going to choose to go ahead and add the word skills and choice and motivated. Now I'm going to hit regenerate. So I have a much more interesting looking set of words. You notice that Hammond is fairly large. The word students is very centered in there. And we're looking for that type of information. So what I'm going to do is hit regenerate 2 or 3 times until I see if I find one I actually like. And I do like this one. So I'm going to, you could save it using the website. I choose just to make a screenshot of it. So I'm going to create this screenshot. And I'm going to go back to my presentation and I'm going to paste it in. Like so. And you can stretch it out, you can center it, you can do a lot of things. That looks way too stretched, so I'm going to undo that. There we go. I like that better. Now, the other thing that I want to focus on in this particular question is, do they agree or disagree? So I'm going to go back to my word list. And I'm actually going to remove every question except those. So the word agree has 13 choices. Actually, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say agree was 13 times. And the word disagree was 3 times. So for the most part, you could say that these students agreed with the quote, which is what I'm wanting them to sort of think about and explore. Okay, the second question. I'm going to go grab it up here. It helps on the spreadsheet if you actually click on the formula bar above the line. And I'm just going to do a Control A, which copies. And then I'm going to highlight all of that. And I'm going to paste without formatting. So this question was, explain the concept of amygdala hijack in your own words. You can include an example from your life or your classroom as an example if it will help your description be more clear. So I'm going to go back to here. I'm going to get all of their responses. And then I'm going to go back to create. It'll ask me, do you want to leave here without saving it? Yes, I don't need this. I already have it where I want it to go. So it's reloading the generation window. So I'm going to paste in all the responses I got. I'm going to hit generate. And again, quite a high level of words. So I'm going to go to the word list. And I'm going to choose 50 words. I'm previewing the parts that are in red right now to see if that's as many as I want. I think I'm going to change this one to 75 words to take in more words. And then I'm going to say the minimum frequency is 3. Now I notice when I say the minimum frequency is 3, that narrows it down to just a very few words. So I'm going to try 2. That gets us more than halfway through the list. So I'm going to go back to 1 just to see what it looks like. And that's illegible. I can't tell what that says. That's way too bright. I don't like the pink. I think it's very difficult to read the cursive as well. So I'm just hitting regenerate each time. So now I've got something that is a much bigger, much more workable list. Now I'm going to go back to my word list. And one of the things I want is for amygdala hijack to show as a combined term rather than 2 separate terms. So what I did was I clicked on amygdala and I literally typed hijack here into this response. Then I went to the word hijack and I removed it. My web page is slowing down just a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to hit regenerate now that I've made those 2 choices, and you're going to notice that amygdala hijack is now the same size and they are together. I really don't like this pink. I don't think it's going to work with my web page. So I'm going to go, or my Google slideshow. So I'm going to go to colors and I'm actually going to choose a black background and hit regenerate. Now I have this that looks a little different. Let's say I wanted a different set of colors. I want, say, red to purple, red, and I want this one to be blue. And I want, say, 4 colors. This gives me a much brighter combination. It lets me control my colors just a little bit. I can also choose direct, which means it's going to go straight from blue to red. I can choose rainbow, which gives you a common. You can vary the word colors with frequency so that all the words that are the same size will be the same color. You can vary the words with rank. You can vary the words randomly, or you can have no random. So I want mine to be based on frequency. So all the words that are the same color are going to be the same size. I also have decided I think I'd rather have a white background. I think it's a little easier to read on a big screen when I'm projecting it. The other option you have is to control the font. So the script font is often really hard to read, but it might serve a purpose if you're doing something that fit that. You also have a choice between serif and sans serif or no serifs. The serifs are the little lines at the ends. So these little lines that are at the end of the K and the ends of the H's, all of that, those are serifs. So I think sans serif is a little easier to read. You'll notice the random is turned off now. So now when I hit regenerate, it's going to only give me the colors I just chose. It's only going to give me the font I just chose. But even though that, when I hit regenerate, some of the words are moving around. So if you'll watch the word response, you'll see that it moves. Now it's over here. Now it's over there a little bit. Now it's at the bottom. So if you have a specific word or combination of words that you would like to highlight, you can do that. The other thing that you can do is if you want to highlight a word in to move it up a level. So for example, right now I have amygdala hijack has 11 hits. I want the word response to be almost as big. So I'm going to change that one to 10. Just to show you how that works. So you're going to see response got bigger, but it's all the way at the top and I don't really like it that it's not in the middle. So I kept hitting regenerate and you'll see the word response is moving around. So now it's closer to the middle and more what I wanted. So now I'm going to grab my screen capture. Again, you can save it on the program or you can do screen capture. I like the screen capture myself. Makes it feel like I have more control. So I'm going to paste this response here. As a combination answer for the whole class about that particular question. And I'm going to make this just a little bit bigger. And then I'm going to move that to the back. Just did not work the way I wanted it to be, work the way I wanted. So what I'm seeing is that there's a bunch of white space at the top that I don't actually want to be there because it prevents me from making the words as big as I want. So I'm going to use the crop tool to make this just a little bit smaller so that it doesn't go all the way to the edge. And then when I turn the crop tool off, now you'll see it's cropped to be more specific to what I want. All right, we have one more question that I wanted to add. One was this question. So I'm going to go again to the formula line. I'm going to do a Control A to highlight the whole thing and then Control C to copy it. It's a little bit different on Macs, but that's how it works on a PC. Now I'm going to go back to the Wordle or the worded out page and go back to create. And it's going back to the generate page right now. And I'm going to paste that. Oh, I'm sorry. I got myself out of order there. Since I have committed to not restarting the videos when I make a mistake or clipping them, I'm going to just keep going and just say, I made a mistake there. So I'm trying to paste the question into the title. So what I'm doing right now is right clicking, highlighting the title. And the reason I'm doing it this way is because I already have the size the way I want it to be. So I'm going to choose paste without formatting, which is going to give me just the question there. And I don't need the link to the culture tree, which was part of the question. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that. There we go. All right, now I'm going to go back to the spreadsheet and I'm going to grab all the answers that I got. I'm going to copy those one more time. And I'm going to hit generate. This time I'm going to leave the total number of words to 100. I'm going to say the medium frequency is 2. Now that's still eliminated almost half. So I don't want to do that. This is something where people are talking about themselves. So I want to leave as many of the words as humanly possible there. It won't let me choose more than 100 and make a good word cloud. So I'm gonna leave it at the top 100. I really like this black with the bright colors. So I'm going to choose that, and I'm just actually going to take it as is, do a screenshot of that. And copy it. Let me go back to my presentation, paste it in. And center it. One of the things I'm noticing right away is that as I'm having them reflect on their connection to the culture tree, I'm seeing work be a big word that is obviously frequently repeated. But as far as the rest of the answers, they're kind of all over the place. There's a lot of words that are similar size. So that will help us sort of talk about the fact that there's many similar feelings and overlapping responses to that. And that's what I want to show with that particular question. So that was my demonstration of how to create your own word cloud using Wordit and responses from a Google form. I hope this was helpful, and let me know.